What's going on, everybody? I am Nick Mraz. I work here at Omnia Fishing. I do customer service and a bunch of other stuff. Today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 most used rods this season. Did a bunch of fishing this year, more than I ever have. I was in the boat countless hours, and these are going to be my top 5 most used rods. So we'll start with the least and go to the most used rod. Right here is Steed's 7-1 medium heavy, extra fast. Yes, it is an extra fast. This is my largemouth rod. I did a lot of smallmouth fishing this year, so I really only used pretty much one largemouth rod. Jigs, Texas rigs, literally everything on this rod. It'll do it all. I'm not too picky when it comes to that. Let's go bend it, see if it's actually extra fast. All right, we got the Steez here. It's 4.3 ounces, super light, feels great in the hand. This is a really old rod. We don't carry it anymore, but we've got a bunch of rods just like it, and we are gonna go ahead and bend it. They say this is a medium heavy extra fast. Let's see. So just playing with the tip a little bit. You can see it's dancing around a lot, super fast. Just how I like it when I'm fishing around grass or docks or anything like that. Really like that. Put a little bit more weight into it. It's a nice medium heavy bend right there. Extra fast, medium heavy. I would certainly agree with them. They rate this from 1/4 to 1 ounce, and that's I think the sweet spot. You're really in like that 3/8 half. If you start and get up into that like 3/4 weight with a 4-inch bait, you're starting to weigh it down a little bit. You want to step up to something with a little bit stiffer of a tip. But for around here, what I'm doing, this is perfect. This is my largemouth rod, 7-1 medium heavy extra fast. All right, next up, we're going to be taking a look at this IMX Pro swimbait rod. This is a 7.6 1/2 ounce to 3 ounce rod. It says moderate fast action, and it's the real model name is a 904C swimbait rod from Loomis in their IMX Pro lineup. I use this rod a bunch this year. In conjunction with that Steez, I'd have a little jigs tied on that Steez and then something to follow it up with, or vice versa. Usually it's got a 6-inch mag drop tied on. That's usually what I use this rod for. And then when it comes to smallmouth season in the fall, A-rig. This is my favorite A-rig rod. It's sometimes a little bit harder to set the hook on those long casts because it is so moderate, which we'll see on the wall here. But once you get them pinned, they're pinned. Drag them into the boat. Let's bend this. All right, we got the IMX Pro here on the wall, the 904C coming in right at 5 ounces. It feels great in the hand. Yeah, super well balanced with pretty much any 150, 200 size reel. You're going to be just perfect. It's labeled as it's a 4 power in their swimbait rod lineup, so kind of like a medium heavy in their swimbait rods. And then it's 1/2 ounce to 3 ounces, moderate fast. Let's bend it. So just personal experience using this rod. I know it's very moderate, and as we can see, it's pretty damn moderate here as well on the wall. Giving it a little bit of tip action, it wants to bend, as you can see, farther down the blank. Hell, that handle might be bending right now. So keeps them pinned, single hook, jig hook, treble hooks. Really love this rod. Use it for a bunch of things. All right, next up here we have the Physx rod from St. Croix. This is only St. Croix that's making the cut, but for a reason. I use it a lot. I really like this rod. This is a 6.8 medium extra fast, and it's rated from 3/16 to 5/8 ounces. I use this rod mainly for my bigger minnows, shaking bigger minnows at 6-7 inch range. But then again, we're up north. I use this for absolutely everything. Jig worms, walleyes. You can tie pretty much any jig hook on this rod and be set to go. It's 5 ounces coming in at the same weight as that last rod, that swimbait rod. It's because it's got it's counterbalanced here in the handle, but that just makes that tip want to rise right up. And I really like it. Makes it feel light. Doesn't matter to me that that's super counterbalanced. The only thing that really matters to me is balance and how it feels in the hand. feels great. So let's go bend it. Back here with the Physx is the 6/8 medium, 3/16 to 5/8 ounce, extra fast. Let's go ahead and bend it. Just a little bit of pressure there. That tip is dancing around just like that steez, like it should, extra fast. I really like that extra fast action for a lot of different techniques. I used to be a just more moderate guy like those Miller rods. I used to love those, but now I want to be able to feel that bite and get that hook into them as quick as possible, especially on those long casts and those big baits. You need to be able to set the hook pretty damn hard, and that's exactly what you can do when it just goes to backbone super quick like that. Walleye jigs, pitching jigs, anything really. Shaking a minnow is really nice with this rod. Keeps that the counterbalance here, keeps that tip up, and you can just shake that thing. Works real well. Great rod. All right, coming up on my most used rods this season. Surprisingly, hair jig is up there. I did a lot of smallmouth fishing, and this is the best rod for it, honestly, I think. Is the Tatula Elite AGS rod. It's the 7/6. Let's see, 1/16 to 5/16, 7/6 medium light. Rod is coming in at 3.4 ounces. It's super light. It feels great. And those AGS guides make a huge difference. And yeah, I use this for hair mainly. Whole bunch of shallow hair jig fishing this year and a little bit of small swim baits. But caught a bunch of fish and I love this rod, so let's go bend it. All right, we're here bending the Tatula Elite AGS 7/6 hair jig rod. This is labeled as a fast action. I would honestly agree with them. As you can see, that tip is super light, as it should be. It's a 7/6 medium light. It's gonna have a bunch of tip up there, even if it is a fast action. But as you get more into the deep blank, I would say that's a pretty accurate, if not a little bit slower than fast, but I mean, that's exactly what I want for a hair jig rod. I'm keeping every fish pinned. Especially with those fighter flies and that sharp little hook, you don't really lose much with this rod. It was so fun to use, especially with the long length. You can really whip it out there, and it's got the right action to cast those basically weightless little hairs that you're throwing around. Being a longer rod, I step up to a 4,000 here. This is my personal one. I prefer anything over like a 7-foot rod. I'm going to be throwing a 4,000 on rather than a 3,000. Longer casts, and that's what you need when you're throwing hair. This Tatula Elite is labeled as a medium light. There are certainly a lot stiffer medium lights out there. This is on the lighter end of the spectrum, but that only helps load up when you're casting those light hair. You want a lot of that rod in your backswing to be really whipping that thing out. And now let's go bend my most used rod. All right, this is my most used rod this season. This is the Expride 610 medium stinger tip. It is rated from 1/8 to 7/16, and it is 610, and coming in right at 3.1 ounces. Very light and very fun. This is the most fun rod I've ever fished with, and I used it all season. As you can tell, that handle is dirty. It's certainly an extra fast, but we're gonna test that on the wall. I used this for everything I could because it was so much fun. Small minnows, shaking a minnow, but really anything under a 1/4 ounce to 3/8. If I could get away with throwing on this rod, I'm surely going to. Yeah, so let's bend it. All right, we're here with the 610 medium Expride with the stinger tip, and we're gonna bend it. This thing is extra fast, is labeled as an extra fast, and it is. That stinger tip, you hardly have to apply any sort of pressure to get that thing dancing. Certainly the lightest tip rod I owned. It's hard to get any lighter than this. That Medusa from Megabass is pretty close, but I mean, it's kind of hard to beat. So for this one, for this rod, I really like that extra fast action, imparting just a little bit of action on those minnows when they're 20 feet down below. It's a joy with this rod. And when you get it hooked up, you can, it's a nice light rod. You can have a lot of fun with it. These shorter rods, I like to go with 3,000, balances a little bit better. But yeah, I'm throwing pretty much everything I can on this rod. It's just a joy to use. It really is. And that is the 610 medium Expride stinger tip. All right, that wraps up my top 5 most used rods for 2024. Hope you enjoyed, maybe learned something, maybe a little bit of entertainment at least. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon. Yeah, enjoy the holidays.